Kegels are the best exercise or best training for your pelvic floor.
Now, you've probably heard this all the way throughout your pregnancy, and even after you've had the baby. A lot of health professionals will be telling you, do your Kegels, do your Kegels, do your Kegels, and then do your Kegels some more, because that's the advice I was given when I had both my children.
Yeah, and what tends to happen is you'll get given maybe like an A4 piece of paper when you leave hospital with a few pelvic floor type exercises on, just basically telling you to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And women go away and either just don't do them because they're boring, or they forget, or they feel like they don't have time, or they just don't actually know whether they're doing them right. So we're just going to explain to you here that Kegels, yes, they have their place in pelvic floor rehabilitation and postnatal fitness, but they're not the only thing we should be doing. And they're kind of like a sticking plaster for a whole body problem, if that makes sense. So Kegels, if you're not sure what we're going on about, and we're just talking absolute gobbledygook at you, are those pelvic floor exercises where you typically people talk about squeezing the pelvic floor muscles and releasing, either slowly and holding them or fast, on, off. Now there's a few problems with that, because the first thing is most women do Kegels incorrectly. And rightly so. If you don't know, if you've never been explained how to do them properly, you're just kind of guessing. The first thing that they tend to do is they will hold their breath when they do them. I'll come back to that later. Breath holding we don't want. Second is they just squeeze, 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 and they don't lift. And a pelvic floor exercise or a pelvic floor contraction should be a gentle squeeze and a lift right up deep into the body. Another thing that they tend to do wrong
Don't relax.
Yeah, they don't relax the pelvic floor. So they're kind of holding their pelvic floor tight all the time, either because they're seated too much, they don't move enough, and they're sitting down with their bum tucked under all the time, which shortens the muscles, or through stress they tend to squeeze the glutes, the bum muscles and the pelvic floor all the time without realising it. And tightness in that way sounds like it'd be brilliant, but it's not. It doesn't equal strength. It will actually mean that the pelvic floor can't function as it can correctly. So the first thing is we need to help relax pelvic floor muscles before we then lift them. Another thing that women do is they tend to squeeze the wrong muscles, so they will use their inner thighs or their bum muscles or suck in their belly muscles as they do a pelvic floor contraction or Kegel.
So if you follow the link below onto our YouTube channel where you can subscribe, we'll show you how to actually perform a pelvic floor exercise, Kegel, effectively, and also how you can integrate that into a whole body postnatal training program.
Because you cannot just do Kegels on their own and expect a massive change within the strength of your pelvic floor. You have to then link that contraction to whole body strengthening movements, and that is how we look at a whole body approach in all of our postnatal pregnancy training.